Previously on Perfect Plex.
Triple H is in charge of creative. Now, as I make myself a little bit bigger here because I got a big head. Shout out to big heads. Vinny Chase, big head. But as I digress and I get myself together, listen, fans, you thought Vince was back in control because Brock Lesnar beat the living shit out of Cody Rhodes on Raw after Mania? Which personally I think is one of the top 5 Raw after Mania moments. If you missed last week's top 5, make sure you go back and check out top 5 on Thursday at 8 to 8:30. To be confused with Tony Coke Khan, by the way. Okay, I'm sorry, Tony. It's the truth. Okay, we love you. For this, where's that idiot? Put that picture back on the wall for me, please. For this idiot, Busby 18, and this moron, Scott Harris. What do you mean? She needs to separate her reality. No, you need to separate your reality. All we do is talk about as wrestling fans how much we love Rhea Ripley. This moron led her to get so upset. She responded to the idiot. People like this make me regret leaving everyone I love behind. I've lived for years without people I love to entertain and live my dream. And you're a fucking disgusting human. She said this. She's not innocent. Everybody's not MJF, who 100% of the time is 100% in character. I'm not blaming her for this tweet. You as wrestling fans need to understand something, people. And I'm going to say this with all due respect to anybody I've ever come across with in this business, because in so many words, it's not. But people, it's not real to me, damn it! It's not real to me!
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah! Perfect Plex Radio! We about to go live on him. Mike Knoxxx. That's with 3 X's because he's hardcore. Are y'all ready? We about to give y'all something special. You ready? Let's go! At the money, now you're all what you getting in. Perfect Plex Radio, got them listening. Mike Knoxxx, from Cena to The Rock, or whatever wrestler is hot. News and interviews, this a one-stop shop. Matter of fact, let me give you more choices. You could call in and be the voice with the voiceless. So what you waiting on? Let's get it cracking. Let's talk wrestling, that's enough rapping. Perfect Plex Radio. Simply, we about to give y'all something special. You ready? Let's go!
And welcome back, everybody, to Unpopular Reviews, the Mike Knoxxx Show. Perfect Plex Talk Radio, where you can find us every single place there is, because we're every single place you are. People, welcome to the show. The pros, Italians, and Ayatollahs, and rock and rollers all listen to. And while you're listening, make sure you follow my crew. Dice Man, backstage, holding me down. My producer this week as well is always holding me down for 10 years strong. Oh, that's like we like married and shit. 301 King Vaughn Jr. on the Twitter. You know what it is. And make sure you follow the station. Give you the identification as well on the screen. What's going on, And today, we got a lot to talk about. You know what my favorite word is, right? As a kid. Just tell you a little story, right? It's like my 6th grade trip. We went to eat at a place they said was a smorgasbord. So I'm like, what's that mean? It's like, oh, you can eat. We got a lot of shit to digest today on this program. What's going on, Scotty Diggs, as we dig into a lot of stuff to talk about. What's going on tonight is the week in pro wrestling. Did you see AEW? Did y'all see it? Did you see what was going on down there at AEW? I've seen it. Oh, let's talk about it. I got a little bone to pick with how they do things with their championships. All right. Wrestling legend says no Hall of Fame for him, but I ask you, do you think he should go into the Hall of Fame? And like I said, AEW has a lot of problems to me. A lot of great things, but wrestling itself has a lot of problems. What's going on, EC? Everybody chiming in. Thank you for chiming in. I'll get you guys' comments in a moment. AEW problem, I'm going to tell you about what this fan has and who's better asset for him. Is it Chris Jericho? Or is it CM Punk? A lot to talk about, and I want to ask you this, okay? Say what? We're going to find out what they've been out here saying and some of that as well. But the Bloodline, is it best professional wrestling? And my name is Mike Knoxxx. You can find me wherever social media is sold at Mike Knoxxx, and I spell it with 3 X's. Because like this show that y'all should have been listening to for 15 years, I'm hardcore. Y'all better tell, hold on, are you a wrestling fan? Are you a wrestling fan? You need to call your mama, your cousin, your auntie, your baby's brother, the little girl used to babysit you that's now grown and trying to sleep with you. Yeah, that's nasty. But you know what I'm talking about. Why you don't like, if you like wrestling, you know, listen to this show right here on Unpop Review, the Mike Knoxxx Show. 15 years running, 3,000 episodes plus. Catch the fuck up. Now, as I digress, let's talk about today's show. And people, listen, the Triple H era has begun. And people, it shall begin starting this Friday as we get to the annual draft special. People, not on this, this Thursday draft, so I apologize. Friday on SmackDown is the draft, but this Thursday, we're going to have a little something special for you. Not only our top 5 is dedicated to the draft, but we're going to have a prediction draft. Did all that in anticipation because I've gotten on this guy, Pauls. I've talked heavily about how I don't like what he's done with the company all the way. I'm a Triple H mark as a fan of him being what he did inside the squared circle, what he did for NXT. But it got me to thinking, as I've been critical about everybody complaining about Raw after Mania and WrestleMania and you guys getting your thongs up your arses about why you couldn't get what you want, why things didn't go your way. So I've decided to say, you know what? Let me look at this with clear eyes on. You know, let me get my DJ on. Y'all know he blind as a bat, right? So I had to go ahead and get my DJs on. And get my glasses out. Yeah, by the way, these are still, Ray-Bans. Always Dylan McKay. What's up, Jungle Boy? Okay. But I had to see this with clear eyes. Clear hearts couldn't lose that Triple H hasn't gotten a fair shake. And he hasn't, yes, he's been in charge of creative, but he inherited shit, right? He inherits things. So with the draft, it's a new fresh start. So we can finally get to judge this man. At least I will, all right, get to judge him more once we see this draft, how it unfolds, right? What do you actually think is going to happen? What do you want to see happen in this draft, right? Should people be brought up from NXT? That's always the bigger question. Never mind if they should switch shows or not, but if somebody going to come up from NXT and make an impact on this, that's another thing. So you look at NXT, could Brittany Detley come up? Right? Everybody think first comes to mind, I believe, is Braun Breaker, right? And now it's Carmelo Hayes. I don't see Hayes coming up being a champion, but hey, stranger things can happen. It's the road of professional wrestling. So we see how they're promoting like Shinsuke on SmackDown, right? I was like, whoa, a whole new thing. Yeah, they're gonna repackage him, but it's the same package of Shinsuke Nakamura. Okay, I'm here. Let's let it ride, right? Let it ride. The new promo that we even got from, we know he loves Mr. Cross, right? And I noticed that on Friday Night SmackDown in this Triple H era that's about to begin, because this is the setup for what's about to come now. We don't just have the NFL draft. Outside the Eagles picking at 10 and 30, nobody gives a fuck about the Cowboys anyway, right? So just watch us, right? So then, that was my Cowboy dig for the week. Yep, shout out to you Cowboy fans. Bam, there it is. All right, love you too. But you look at how Cross's promo, I mean, like he spoke about the things he did with McIntyre, right? How he's taking credit for what's going on with Mysterio. Was it good? Was it bad? It was something. So I took it, and I want to see what's going to happen. And now come this Friday, when we get to this draft, we're going to finally get to be able to see what this man really has in store for us. And then we give him a fair shake. You can't even count Backlash because that's already predated, and most cases, I know in the past it's been that way. Correct me if I'm wrong backstage, but the draft is Friday, it continues, but the pay-per-view is still separate. So no moves are typically made until after the PLE. So look into that for sure. But definitely want to hear from you what you guys think, who's going to go where, when, why you want to see them go, and so forth. Now, this week I did ask you guys, did you watch AEW? I asked you that because AEW, how can I say this? You be overcooking my grits, okay? And there's many ways to make grits. You can have instant grits with just water, but which is, I ain't gonna lie, my lazy ass, my family be buying the instant grits, right? A little water, already got the butter in it, put some more extra butter in it, a little sugar if you like sugar, you know, and you go at it. AEW continues week after week after week to baffle me. Yes, it does, Tony. It baffles me because you put all this hope into Mr. Wardlow, right? You even had me, a guy who was confused, right? Because, or not confused, let me rephrase that, because I'm an intelligent wrestling fan. This is for the intelligent wrestling fans, all right? Like, follow, subscribe, all those things down there below on Pop Review, coming at you every day. Here go a wrestling federation, but I know wrestling can't survive. I don't give a damn how great of a wrestler you are if there's no gimmick, if there's no story. Remember when he was think back 20 years ago, right? It's been that long, so we actually really gave that hard-pressed caring about wrestling. Every week you had to watch wrestling. It was a must to watch wrestling. You had, if you missed one show, you were lost. Well, not really lost, but you missed a lot. Now you missed a couple shows, you can go read about it. Things just what they are. And AEW to me has a title problem. Okay? You hype Wardlow. I'm like, here go this guy that could be a superstar for you outside the box of what they're building for AEW, right? Because it's a good federation. It just has some, how would you say it, right? If you're going to go get a house, you want to make sure that the construction is done right, right? And I think some of the foundation with Cody leaving and how these certain guys were in control and so many ears in this rookie's mind and head that it gets convoluted. That's the word. It gets convoluted. It does, Tony. Okay? So I'm looking at how you build Wardlow up to have him lose. He lost, okay. But Hobbs here's my problem, here's my gripe, here's my bitch of the week. Here's why I'm bitching about AEW this week. About to go in. Is the fact that why Hobbs gets so shafted like this? Title reigns in AEW don't mean shit. And I remember a time when people complain about it. Well, first of all, it's wrestling fans. You complain and bitch about everything, right? But you definitely bitch about titles staying too long or look at WWE, and I hate to cross-reference the companies, but damn it, this ain't a review show. This is the Mike Knoxxx show, okay? So I'm going to compare the two. Still a pimple on a donkey's ass, like TNA was WWE. It's AEW, but the pimple should start to get the busting soon, so it can spread, right? Nasty as fuck is AEW. It can be so great, but it's just fucked up and nasty. And here's why. How do you want us to believe in what you have to do? How? How do you want us to believe in what you're building and how you're going when you build Hobbs up to break him down? I don't know what's going with Wardlow. Like, is this supposed to make us like him now? You build him up so high, and then you took him away. You had him going with MJF, and he's so far from that. And then you bring him back with Arn Anderson. Does he need that rub? Like, why you want us to, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, I'm not Damian Priest. I'm not going to put my ass all the way up Bad Bunny's, my hand up Bad Bunny's ass. I'm not going to do that. But wrestlers do. This is not a wrestler's issue. This is the company's issue. And I tell guys all the time, be smart about if you get a Stardust gimmick, you make it work. Whatever gimmick you get, you make it work. But the company has to be behind pushing it to make it work. And I'm confused with this. I'm confused what they're doing with their titles. They get hot. I think the longest reigning champion, if someone can say me if corrected, and we'll take a break here in a second, is damn, I just had it in my head and it went away. The trio's title at this point, right? It has to be that. Because the title just keeps pushing him, or MJF, who doesn't wrestle. I don't mind that, but I know a lot of fans out there, Dice Man backstage especially, knows he hates that. So I already know non-wrestling fans don't have the right to complain about wrestling, but they try to always. Well, first of all, and I like the comment, it's wrestling. We complain about everything today. We complain about Apple versus Android, PlayStation versus Xbox, YouTube TV versus Hulu Live, Disney Plus versus streaming everything for free. It's what we do. We complain and bitch and moan. That's the world we live in today. We have a bunch of LeBron James. See what I did there? Let's see Wardlow versus Goldberg so Goldberg can put him over. Will that help him? That is the question. I do not know if that would help him. That's my concern with that. But guys, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on the Mike Knoxxx Show. A lot more to talk about. Say what? It's my new segments coming up soon, y'all. We'll be right back here. Unpop Review Entertainment got a lot going on this week. If you've seen John Wick 4, if you have, I know I have. I got a lot of shit to say.
This hit goes out to you, Mr. Wick.
Challenge you to single combat.
If you win, you'll have your freedom.
And when I see you, I'ma take what I want, so.
Amen.
The only way John Wick will ever have freedom and peace is in death.
Yeah, not really. And so it begins.
Once a ranger,
always a ranger.
It's morphin' time.
you got this. Good luck.
Messing with this place was a big mistake.
And we are back here on the Mike Knoxxx Show on Pop Review Entertainment this week, guys. Power Rangers coming up at 7:30 tonight. If you've seen the Netflix special, I have seen it. I'm not on this show, but I will be in the chat room chatting very heavily in my thoughts about that. And John Wick 4. Ooh, I cannot wait till tomorrow night, guys. I am on that show along with a beautiful crew here on the Unpop Review Entertainment side. Come back if you've seen John Wick. Spoiler alert, we will be talking about that movie indefinitely, or in depth, shall I say. As I digress from, I need you guys to choose like AEW there. Are you going with Wardlow or are you going with Hobbs? I need you to make your mind up because I'm going with Hobbs because you've made it come to that way. Like the Hobbs literally won the title of the show after Wardlow beat Samoa Joe with his own finisher and loses the belt the week after. That's thanks to Super That's Wrestling for you. Make it make sense. That's the new thing. Like I said what I said. Right? But I think right now people are just whining and losing belts. So when they list their accolades, it sounds good. Yeah, and that's another issue for me as well. I know a lot of wrestling fans have been doing a lot of that lately. Not wrestling fans, but the companies have been doing that too. WWE especially for that can be on some tips with that. Makes no sense. Shay, sir, Captain Shakespeare checking in. Thank you, girl. Low key feel like they have Hobbs. Low key feel like they gave Hobbs the title just to say that they gave it to him. I felt the same way, but they should do that back in February when it's Black History Month. All right. The foundation of AEW is very shallow. Shallow. Well, listen, speaking about shallow, and speaking about AEW, two things. Now, everybody knows that Phil Brooks, because he's not wrestling right now, has been eager to get back into the company. Okay. He's saying how he want to come back. He would do this. He would do that. And we already know that Jericho was there. Right. And I want to talk about Chris Jericho for a second here as well, because I don't think I represent him properly in the 15 years that I've done this thing here. I don't think I've done that with enough respect to this man. Right. I like gimmicks. Right. I won't sit here and lie like fans will say, and I've watched them. I've seen clips of him in ECW, but I didn't know him there. When he came up to WCW, Lionheart Jericho, the pink little hair tips dyed, the facial man, everything. I just knew I fell in love with that guy. He was my favorite on WCW that was not a part of the NWO. Okay, hands down, I was Jericho. We came in Raw, loved him, and then it got around to the Jericho with the short hair, with the shiny jacket. Jericho when he came back, he's Jericho, okay, and all the work still to me has been marvelous through all those times. I think Jericho is a bona fide Hall of Famer. He's an all-time great. I think he falls somewhere in my opinion. If I have to just throw it out like I'm doing right now, 25 to 30 somewhere. So if that's blasphemous for some of y'all, I have to dissect that or bring that back again later and think about it some more. But somewhere in that range for me, I think is Jericho. Okay, but a great nonetheless. Longevity, all that, and then there's Phil Brooks. So I know a lot of people hate. A lot of people love. A lot of people say that he hangs off of one promo. If you're intelligent, you might say he hangs off of two promos. All right. Not just the pipe bomb, but your arms are too short to box with God. That's one of my favorites of all time. Hey, Dwayne. Love that. Okay. But I also, people think that they say CM Punk is overrated. CM Punk can't wrestle. I hear those things. It's so frustrating to me. You see you have Jericho in your top 15, Vaughn. Maybe I got to look at it. I got to look at it. Punk's in top 30 and maybe so. While Jericho is an asset for all he's helped throughout the company. CM Punk is an asset from a mainstream standpoint. No matter what, CM Punk name rings bells and it brings eyes. And that's exactly Captain Space. That's why you're the captain around here. What I was getting to. This question, I saw this in a group. So I wanted to bring it here on air. And it said, who's a bigger asset? And I instantly said CM Punk. Because of those statements right there by the captain. He brings mainstream. I don't care. And to me, the stuff got to stop when he can't do this and he can't do that. I think Punk can do all. Did he come back and light the ring on fire? Absolutely not. He came back and stunk up the joint, in my opinion. The match he had with MJF were his best match because I think they were best match with each other, being, not movie type guys, and can just tell a story in the ring. He's still very good at that. Okay. The question is he now the Oladipo of pro wrestling? He gets hurt a lot now also, right? Yeah. See, I didn't want to use my guy. I'm going to use the guy who just got hurt recently. I'm not going to use the guy from Chicago, number one, the second best bull of all time. No, I'm not talking about Scottie Pippen. Okay. But who's a bigger asset? Hands down to me, it goes to CM Punk. Comment below, as my man Jerry McJohns would say, let me know. Because I want to hear. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Going to move on because I have a new segment I want to talk about today, guys. And it's important to me to talk about this segment because a lot of things people be saying. So I ask you the question. Say what?
Girl.
I beg you.
What?
Wrestlers got their own podcast now. They're bitter. We talked about last week about two bitter old men, and Bret Hart, and he had something else to say again. Wrestling's pathetic for him now. But man, the things that people have to say about things, whether it's good or bad, I want to talk about. So on his podcast a few weeks ago, friend of the program, 3,000 plus episodes, guys. I've interviewed him several times. Okay. Oh, you didn't know? Road Dogg had something to say. He said he came in and he had no adversity. He went right through the Royal Rumble and right to the champion. So the argument could be made, and I said this while you guys were bitching and moaning and bitching. If you just give it to him, did he earn it? Now, that's a little more than me. Did he earn it? But I agree. Where's the chase, right? We're talking about a bloodline storyline, and we'll talk about it again later on today as well, okay? And where does that storyline last, right? Talking about the hot shotting of AEW. We're talking about this version of wrestling to me, right? As my guy Kurt would say, maybe not be to you, but to me, this is my version of professional wrestling and storytelling, right? So Raw after Mania, it continued this man's story, right? The letdown, the sadness, the crying, the breaking of your private property because he lost a wrestling match is just as dumb as football fans that ruin their televisions. And wrestling fans are the same thing. You're stupid. Okay? But this is where no one's dumb, man. This is an intelligent wrestling fan, which I know you guys have your quarrels with one. Oh, you didn't know? I get it. Trust me, I understand. However, when you think about this, and we talked about this the Raw after Mania show, everybody was complaining, everybody was mad, and I said, you have to let it build. You what's next, right? Because what he said here is literally legit, right? Some things isn't that hard for you to get. It's just a simple kick in the head to think about it, okay? It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. All you got to do is think about it for a moment. He left the company to go start another company that since he's left, the foundation has been shaky, right? It's like the Mega Powers. That other guy in Savage, okay? Be a man, sluckin'. I'm not going to say your name, sucker. But he comes back, he's destroying thrones, But he's a man. Let's be a man about it. The girl Tony Braxton said, right? Just be a man about it. He come back, he mans up. He comes in, he gets hurt. He gets hurt. People forget that. Comes back, he's right back there. It was like kind of like the Royal Rumble really is my favorite pay-per-view because it starts the season off to WrestleMania. And it just came in. It was kind of not that great of a Rumble match because we knew he was going to win. No adversity, as Road Dogg said. No adversity. Right to the Royal Rumble, right to everything. Then the storytelling began. And then people forget that Paul Heyman has been in Roman Reigns, your tribal chief, for so long. Never thought that this could ever happen. He tongue-lashed that boy on the microphone. And again, I'm a Cody Rhodes guy. Day one. And I'm on the island of relevancy. But this man needs to go through the foundation and the cracks of building the story. It's that simple. Okay? So I like what Road Dogg said, because you always say Mike Knoxxx is bugging. Also, this week, the one that hit the most. Go ahead and make that one a little bigger for me, Dice. You know I can't see, I'm blind. Thank you. Road Dogg spill, I fear. Our family has worked really, really hard to get the name to where it was, and we're tired of people prostituting. Damn. I'm going to read that again because I just can't believe that he used that word exactly. Our family has worked really, really hard to get that name to where it was, and we're tired of people prostituting. Damn. Prostituting it in a sense and using it for their own benefit. Rey Mysterio, I'm sorry that no one knows who Rey Mysterio Sr. is. I'm sorry that you have to latch on to the Guerrero family, and we're just kind of tired of it. So, thank you for keeping Eddie's name alive, but we don't need you. We're good. You know what I'm saying? And I say, Chavo. No, I actually don't know what you're saying. Okay? I just don't. We're talking about the Tito Jackson of the Guerrero family here. And no offense. I like Eddie Guerrero. I mean, I like Chavo. I've always liked Chavo. Okay? It's the simple.
Excuse me! This is Vicky Guerrero, and you're listening to the Soul and Sports with Mike Knoxxx and the crew. Orale!
Paying homage and using the name for clout are not the same thing. Rey Mysterio is known, especially in black households. I won't say he's just known in black households. I'm going to say Rey Mysterio is known in wrestling households. Okay? I'm going to go with that. And I also think this is where I would think Chavo's a little bit in the business, and he should know that this isn't probably really, not that he hasn't done it and benefited from Guerrero, the whole thing when he died. I believe that's how he won the title, why he did get the title. I've always believed that was that reasoning. But don't be mad that he was in a position, Chavo, you wasn't. First and foremost, I think that's a little bitterness. I think it's unfair. And I think it's unfair because this is something I think he should be more mad at the WWE for than Rey Mysterio. Okay? Because WWE's done a good job so well at it that I still call Dominic Mysterio Guerrero, wherever you want to flip the name, because it's funny in that storyline. Vicky didn't even keep Eddie's name alive on AEW. Wow. Okay. A lot of stuff here is going on. And I just don't see how he could be so mad, so upset to say these things in that manner. Like, it just really trips me out. What do you think about all that, guys? Make sure you share this right now and get this out there, because I think Chavo's a little wrong with this one. I really do. I don't think Chavo, and I'm a person who thinks that Chavo Guerrero, if it goes into, the situation about the Benoit situation, has a lot of intel and a different vantage point. If you go back into an interview that he did, Chavo Guerrero, he sees it and says a whole different stuff. And if you take it from someone who's saying they, whatever was going on there, then I wonder how that's going to happen. So one more thing. We're going to come back with Say What. I'm going to take a commercial break, come back with This Week in Wrestling History. So stay tuned, stand back. A hurricane. It's not coming through. It's just Mike Knoxxx, the damn best show in radio. Perfect Plex Talk Radio right here on Unpopular Review. And we'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Before I say this, let me get all of my pauses out of this. Two big meaty men slapping meat.
He says, hey, I'm a big guy. Pause. I'm a big meaty guy.
Match was lackluster. Big meaty men didn't do a lot of meat, and it was not very big. So I don't know. I'm gonna give the segment.
Dynamite. What was going on?
That is a clip.
That is definitely a clip.
You know, no pun intended. I'm giving the segment a D.
I'm giving that 2 Fs.
So let me get this straight. They're big meaty men that weren't showing the meat, but you give it a D.
Big meaty men showing the meat, but you give it the D.
Big meaty men giving us a D.
Not give it us. Not give it us. Right?
Yeah, and it's not very big or meaty.
That's great.
Yeah. Anyways. Oh, sure, mate.
Yo, it's crime time. EST. Soul Man, Rocky Johnson. It's the Honky Tonk Man. NWO. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? UPR and Around the Blocks give to you This Week in Wrestling History with King Von.
Hello, everyone. This is King Von Jr. of the Victorious Ones podcast and Perfect Plex Talk Radio, here to bring you the week in wrestling history. Of course, on April 23rd, 2007, Shawn Michaels defeated John Cena in a 1-hour classic on Monday Night Raw, which is still considered to be the rarest match in Raw history. And of course, on April 24th, 1994, at WCW Saturday Night Taping, Ric Flair defeated Ricky Steamboat to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And of course, April 25th, 2010, John Cena retained the WWE Championship against Batista in a last man standing match in the main event of Extreme Rules. And of course, April 26th, WWF In Your House Unforgiven took place at the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina, which in the main event, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated Dude Love in his first championship defense, WWF title defense. On April 27th, 2008, of course, in the IWGP Heavyweight Championship changed hands in Osaka, Japan, when Keiji Muto defeated Shinsuke Nakamura. On April 28th, 1995, the WCW in New Japan, of course, presented the first day of the infamous Collision in Korea, which brought in 190,000 fans. And as far as birthdays, on April 23rd, John Cena turned 46. On April 24th, Lou Thesz turned 107. April 25th, The Amazing Red turns 41. April 26th, Kane turns 56. On April 28th, Drew Gulak turns 36. And Titus O'Neil turns 44. And that is your week of wrestling history. Mike Knoxxx, back to you.
Yo, it's crime time. EST. Soul Man, Rocky Johnson. It's the Honky Tonk Man. NWO. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? UPR and Around the Blocks give to you This Week in Wrestling History with King Von.
I'm sorry, Von. Did you say you're 107 years old? Jesus, man, I want to be like him. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all saying I want to be that long. As long as my joint, my day is getting an A, I'm here. All right? Say
Girl.
I beg you.
What?
Listen, so now with the Chavo Guerrero stuff, and I mean, that's just crazy. And stuff, but I'm not done with this segment. 2 more little things I'm going to go over because I have to do this, right? So, also, Conan, okay, on the Keeping It 100 podcast. Stop taking my shit. All right? I've been doing this. I'm going to tell you right here, right now. Charlotte Flair is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. All right? So, I had to do nothing. I just wanted to get it out. For my fans, I love you. For my people. Now, Conan has come out and said he's just another great wrestler, Jay White, in a promotion full of great wrestlers. What is his gimmick? You're a part of the Bullet Club? And what? Question, people. Because I'm Jay White supporter. Okay. I have to get the troller chain in there. Jay White is, to me, a very good wrestler and someone who has the potential to be very great. All right. There's a difference between being good and being great. Not too much on Jay White. He's really that dude. All right. But I know that's, I got you, Captain. I got you, partner. All right. Blind tag, though. I think there's something to be said about what Conan said, because it's what I think, even though you all, well, not all of you, some of you guys and girls will say, nah, I watch wrestling because I like to watch the wrestling. Wrestling and wrestlers themselves will tell you it's about a gimmick, it's about a story. That is the game. What I say from Lil Rock, he says it every week. Play the gimmick. What is Jay White's gimmick, though? That he's in shape and he has an accent and he has the same moves that other people have and he's really good in the ring. Juice, what's his name? I know I can't say it right. Juice Robinson with him is trash. I'm gonna say that. Sorry. I know some of you guys back here, I ain't gonna make fun of that wrestler. They may not come. I'm a journalist. And I dissect things, and I don't know what you do. You just look wild with hair, and you beat up people in jeans with no shirt on. And I like Jay White, but they need to discover something for him. Either form the Bullet Club or do something with them. McIntyre, I'm looking at somebody who's, kind of in the same, but you know what he is. He's the last kicker of the boy version of it, right? And he has the sword. He's doing it for Ireland, and he's a big guy, and all those kind of things. I'm just saying, I don't think he's too far off with what he's saying. I don't think he's necessarily putting Jay White down, but he's asking a legitimate question. I missed that one there. If I was supposed to read that one, Dice. So I'm going to put that one back for Shay. The first one we had. Okay. I'm a white knight. The Jay White fan works on a better name. This is what we got right now. Okay. Juice got Tony Storm, though. Does he really? Wow. Okay. Well, good for him. All right, so what? No, I agree. He should be continued with the Bullet Club and stuff. That was annoying to me. He shouldn't continue with the Bullet Club. Okay. Well, listen. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with that either. I like Jay White, but I want to see him step out of the shadow. And putting him with Juice Robinson to me doesn't do that. That's all I'm saying. So the way they brought him in was weak and whack. If anybody that y'all listen to, which you should listen to, should be listening to Mike Knoxxx here on the Unpop Review Show, New York, Solomon, and all these other dudes who don't know jack shit, I'm going to say it. Okay? I'm going to say it. Fuck you, Dave Meltzer. Okay? Because there's validity to certain things. You have to have a gimmick. It's just that simple. So, next year in Philadelphia, the home of your NFC champion, Philadelphia Eagles, WrestleMania is coming to town. This is all speculation about the Hall of Fame, right? Not the Hall of Pain, but the Hall of Fame. And one Raven has come out and said, I would almost bet everything I own that I'm not going to be inducted in any year in the Hall of Fame in the future. I always say that people who's wrestled and done things deserve to go in the Hall of Fame, right? It's not like, in so many words, the, professional leagues Hall of Fames, right? It's what the promoters believed in you. It can be Barry Horowitz, I believe, is in the Hall of Fame. And I love Barry Horowitz. He was the greatest jobber of all. Am I wrong, Vaughn? Isn't Barry Horowitz in the Hall of Fame? Okay. He's checking it for me right now. Okay. But I believe Barry Horowitz is in the Hall of Fame. Okay. And enhancement talent should be in the Hall. I'm not saying Ravens bad at all. Okay. They own WCW, right? They own the rights to them, right? They own the rights to ECW. With Philadelphia coming to WrestleMania, there's a lot of speculation that that the Hall of Fame next year will be very ECW friendly. Maybe we'll see Paul Heyman go, and he is on the island of relevancy. Okay. I sit upon that island as well. Okay. That it'd be a very heavy ECW thing. They better put Raven in or else what, Shay? What you gonna do? What you gonna do, girl? He's got into TNA recent Hall of Fame. He got, okay, well, if you want to, okay, that's a Hall of Fame. But he wasn't talking about that. Y'all know he wasn't talking about that Hall of Fame. Okay? Because for what it's worth, there's only one Hall of Fame that actually really matters. Okay? to people. Horowitz is not in the WWE Hall of Fame. Okay, well, you learned something new today. I just learned that. Okay. But he should be. Why isn't Barry Horowitz in the Hall of Fame? That's bullshit. Okay. If you're going to put in, who the guy just went in? I forget the comedian with Jerry the King Lawler. I'm really mad right now that I can't think of his name. From Saturday Night Live. He also played in Taxi, the TV show. Okay. Andy Kaufman, thank you. Then Raven should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. He did nothing in WWE worth being in the Hall of Fame for. He was an up-and-coming manager when he was there, which I thought was really good for him in his early years before he went to ECW. And his version of ECW, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not even a fan of that Raven at all. I know that sounds crazy. I was not a Raven Dreamer, didn't get this guy to watch ECW. RVD, Taz, Bigelow, Jesus Christ, what was the three group with Bigelow and Shane Douglas and them? All right, they got me watching that. Okay, Sabu. All right, I can see Taz before Raven. I don't know with Taz being in AEW right now will that happen, but I think Taz should also go in there. The Flock was the ish. I'm not here to debate that. I just was not a fan of Raven, but I believe in work and I believe in bodies of work. And that's why I think Raven is a Hall of Famer. I think he should go in. Before we get into the what's happening tonight, because y'all know Bad Bunny's showing up tonight, right? Who cares about Bad Bunny showing up on Raw? I mean, is he going to wrestle? I just hope he got on something to protect himself from somebody's hand going up his ass again, because that was very uncomfortable. I just can't get over it. It was just annoying. It's like that fan that was had on all the Bloodline stuff. It's like me right now. I wear this shirt. I'm all to put my belts on, right? The Usos lose, and I start screaming for the Usos. Doesn't that make? Why did I buy the shirt for? I'm just confused by that guy. I'm going to make fun of him forever. Okay, but the Bloodline is the dopest faction in recent memory, right? Let me get that off the screen, the lower part half. And that's simply because of what they've done, the longevity of them, everything. Sorry. It's just been amazing, right? And it made me start thinking, because this made me go with my AEW pointing things again, how they're not building storylines for me. They're so confusing over in AEW that the greatness that can be there is not coming. This isn't the new NXT that's just straight ass. Sorry if you like NXT. I could not get into it at all. I just can't. It's like I'm watching Glow all over again. Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. That's really how I feel when I watch NXT. It's like I'm back in 1987, 86. And although some of those things are very appealing to me in certain aspects, we surpassed that. Right? It's like I can't make my kids sit down and watch the beautiful, great movie that is Superman with Christopher Reeves, because they're not going to see the special effects and they think that's they went to sleep on it. Twice I tried to make them watch it. Right? They're just not going to do it. So the Bloodline, some of the longest storylines running in wrestling history, right? The Streak was probably the longest storyline in WWE history. But it took time off, and it came and it went. It became a yearly event of a storyline, but it was a storyline nonetheless, right? Austin McMahon went on for years, right? Some would say that's probably the best storyline is Austin and McMahon, right? You also have the mega powers I brought up earlier. One of my favorites that never gets talked about, Dice, I said this when I became a Jeff Hardy fan, the Invasion angle with ECW, WCW going against WWE. I absolutely loved that time. That match between Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam, to me, is a top 5-10 match of all time. I pushed it back because WrestleMania matches with Undertaker and but if we take out, and I don't want to take that because that dilutes the match, but it's one of the best matches I've ever seen, bar none. No matter where you want to put it at, I think that match should be in everybody's name. Z says Bloodline is the greatest storyline of all the times. All the times. Where do you put it at? We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here. We'll continue this a little bit more after these last commercial break. Come back and talk some more wrestling. Say what? All that good stuff and then some. We'll be right back here, y'all, on Pop Review Entertainment. That's this week, but so is a lot of other good stuff. We'll be right back, y'all.
Always a Ranger.
It's morphin' time.
You got this. Good luck.
Messing with this place was a big mistake.
I know how to increase your cash flow.
Have you lost your damn mind?
Willing to pay $10,000 each. Sold.
Knocking up a bunch of lesbians? That's some freaky shit.
You are a cash cow.
What's this I hear about you making babies? I'm gonna do it. Go ahead, make me a baby.
Whoa. She hate me. She hate me. She doesn't feel that way about you, though, man. She told me so.
Oh, Papa Doc and a Spike Lee joint as we finish up our Spike Lee month over here on Unpopular Review Entertainment. That's coming up this Thursday night on Unpopular Review Entertainment. Also, again, the Power Rangers review will come up tonight after this program here on Unpopular Review Entertainment side. Make sure you guys check that out as well. Too Super, Daniel Bryan versus The Authority is in his top 5 storylines. Hey, it's a great one. That's to me why that storyline is why I think Daniel Bryan is one of the biggest superstars in WWE history. Like top 10 because of that. He's the yes chant is bigger than him damn near sometimes. You know what I mean? In a sense. But I love that. But yeah, Unpopular Review, John Wick this week. She Hate Me, the Power Rangers. Don't forget top 5 also coming back on there. Is it better than Kofi Kingston's storyline? Who wrote that, Dice? You's a dirty some bitch. Yes, it is. Is it a more gratifying finish for me? Absolutely not. Kofi Kingston, hands down, that storyline. And of course, it's a black thing. Goddamn right, it's a black thing. But it's better than that one. But I think when you look at storylines, and the question I ask you guys, do we need this storyline? Because the draft is coming up. Okay, the draft is coming up, and I want to know with this draft coming up, this draft upon us. How will you see this happening? Will the Usos get broken up? Will the Bloodline get broken up? What's good, man? You know, what happens here with the Bloodline? I personally think the Bloodline is the Bloodline, right? And they blur the lines in WWE, right? So Usos can go to stay on SmackDown. Roman comes to Raw. I think that happens. I think SmackDown's had Roman long enough, right? I think Raw has taken a severe dip in to me, maybe not in ratings. Okay, now that's still what matters. I know I'm always talking numbers, but as far as fans' enjoyment of a show and anticipation of watching a show, people watch Raw because of the name. We talked about that before about things like that. The name Raw. Oh, Monday Night Raw's on. Right? It's different. It's Friday night SmackDown. It's Friday nights, right? So Roman's going back to Raw to me. And then the cousins can go to SmackDown, but because they're the Bloodline, they can go where they want to go. Or do WWE keep them together as they did that a couple years before where they were like, tag teams can go if a GM wants to tag team. So if they want to draft the Street Profits, they can draft the Street Profits as a tag team, or they can take D'Angelo Dawkins if they choose to. So I wanted a lot of things question with that, but I'd ask you again, do we need the Bloodlines? I think we do. I think in a world full of uncertainty, you cannot go wrong with what they've been done and what they've been doing. I think, Dice, you got in my head about, they said promote draft special for AEW before signing off, and I will. The AEW, the promote the draft. Okay, I got you. But also, I thought you were saying something different as I glanced at it, and that's, do you think AEW would be better as a draft if they put some of their stuff on Rampage and some on Dynamite? I know a lot of people who hated the draft, but I think with the confusion of AEW, that could work out for them. And maybe they can have storylines go as long as the Bloodline. I think it's in the Constitution there'll be break up, but some, but not all. I don't think that. I hope they don't. I hope they don't. I don't want them to break up at all. I think the Bloodline should stay together. They're the best thing in wrestling. Batman 901. We need more storylines in wrestling. Not just the Bloodline. The what? I say shit wrong all the time. And I like the Bloodline. Okay. We do need more than a Bloodline. I'm not saying that. If you look at what they've been doing, Years ago, one of the best times in wrestling that does not get talked about in eras, that's the gang warfare era. When you had the Cycle of Apocalypse, you had the Nation of Domination, you had DX, you had all these factions going around. AEW does it, but they're not doing a good job at it. WWE, slow that LWO thing. Outside of them colors being red, white, and blue. Sorry, WWE. LWO is Mexico. That's not Puerto Rican. Puerto Rico. Oh, I wish I was going. But you have to do that. You have to. The factions that they're making, they're creating, they're building, I think is really good for WWE. And they can do that. The Brawling Brutes make them a little bigger. Add somebody else to that group. Big E's coming back. I'm hearing that he's ready. At least I hope that he's ready. Again, hashtag Death to Dirt Sheet. So I haven't heard this from somebody that I think is credible. Okay. And those, if you look what I did with Say What, guys, those are quotes from these guys on podcasts and things like that. I don't do dirt sheets here because to me, they all got 2 words for all of them and y'all can all suck it. Well, you know what I'm saying. That didn't come out right. Mama, please forgive me. That boy's a bad. WWE don't have enough tag teams to split up tag teams, in my opinion. Like I can't name more than 6 tag teams that are actively being shown. Well, maybe Triple H should change that. As the Triple H era can begin. Even Savio Vega had a gang. He did. The Lost Blow Equals. Okay? The only thing about AEW really has is the Jericho Appreciation Society doesn't hold a candle to anything else. They have more than that, Vaughn. They got nothing but faction over there. You got the Dark Order. You got the little short dudes group, right? Like there's so many over there. They got a lot of factions. And had it, even if you look about it, the Elite's a faction. Okay? If you count New Day as a faction, Elite's a faction. Okay? That's why Punk wants to be back with FTR. Right? That's a faction. He wants that money. And I think you bring Punk back. You want to sell out London? You want to sell out Wembley Stadium, which they're going to do anyway, because it's a European crowd. Now that I think about it, they're going to sell that out. You bring some big hitters in there. We'll talk about that in weeks to come. But the Bloodline, I'm with you, Dice, man. I do think, and shout out to Derek Mitchell. Or if he's watching or we'll watch later or this gets shared, we'll have a lot to say about people forgetting about the older guys. Right? That's my guy. He's an old head. I'm an old head. And even Dice backstage. So I'm going to bring this to the light. Lou Tez, Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund cannot wrestle better than Daniel Bryan, Bret the Hitman Hart, and Mr. Perfect. Can't. I don't think they can wrestle better than Kenny Omega. Okay? That's different than in the hip-hop world, right? Where 2 albums, I still say Biggie's the greatest of all time. Dice says he's been surpassed. And rap, it's still about lyrics, not about album sales and who had the more albums and all that. It's about them lyrics and how hard them lyrics hit and how they hit you home. Music is about a feeling. Remember what MC stands for? Move the crowd, right? No matter how long ago it was, if those words are still prevalent today, and these wrestlers from yesteryear, they're not here today. They cannot compete today. So to me, I thought about it long and hard. I do think that Bloodline is the greatest storyline in wrestling history. And because of that, because it's the best thing, in my opinion, this company has had in like 7 years, I think they should keep it. You can convolute it all you want to. It's your program. You've done it anyway, right? Like, why is Kevin Owens all of a sudden he started showing up for no reason? Rap is about lyrics and an imprint. I agree. MC, master of ceremonies. Technically, yes. But a great rapper said that that's what it means, move the crowd. I disagree with Billboard list. Oh, yeah, that was complete horseradish. 100%. But I just look at wrestling today and go, we need the Bloodline. 100% we need the Bloodline. So, but almost done here, guys. And a few more things, if I can, and that's what we're going to get tonight, right? We do got wrestling tonight, and I can't personally wait to watch it because I'm excited for these things. Lou Tez, Buddy Rogers, Bruno will not hold up well today's wrestling landscape. Listen, and it's no disrespect towards those guys, right? I 100% love what they have to offer, and I love what they bring to the table and what they've had and what they've done. What would today be, so to speak, without those guys, right? where would they be? And I thought I had to add for SmackDown vs. Raw. If y'all missed that show last Saturday, it got revamped, redone. People say they, it's like how I say it. People like people in church, CME members, Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter. That's all they come to church for. We don't know where they come or they're going. So we're trying to get things settled here, right? All right, I ain't gonna bring up nobody's name, but they might be missing. That's all I'm saying from the picture. Wait, who's that man? Be a man, whoever you are. But don't forget to check out the Raw and SmackDown review show every single Saturday. Make sure you come back again this Thursday. Okay, the draft special teams. Myself and Bad Guy Jack is going to beat the living shit out of that whack executive consultant. And I don't know who Steve's going to be. He might show up as Steve. He might show up as El Loco. Who knows? I just know that they're going to be funny, and I'm going to be sitting here like the old grumpy old man that I am. And also don't forget this week as well, live coming up 10/10 after immediately following AEW is the AEW Dynamite show with the host man right there. Z is Silent Dice Man, and he might be alone. He might have a special guest. You want to be a guest on the program? Comment below. Let us know. Hit the Patreon account. Let us know if you want to be a part of this show. It is a revolving door of a guest host. If you're an AEW fan, you got something to say, hit us up. We might put you on the air. All right? Holla at your boys. Now, tonight, we do have Raw. This is the last Raw before the draft, which is next week, as it concludes, because the draft starts this Friday. Bunny returns. Rey Mysterio clashes with the Judgment Day, Damian Priest again. That's pretty much all they've advertised for tonight's Raw. This is why I'm giving Triple H that put. Oh, yeah, Brock's supposed to be pulling up tonight as well. Thank you for that one very much there, Mr. Eric. Thank you very much. Make sure you check out my man's show right there as well. Plug your stuff for me, Eric. Man, my mind eludes me right now. I'm on these pain meds. You know what I mean? Kind of heavy. Today is 60 years since the WWE title was introduced. Well, shit, I got a bunch of titles right there. Let me see which one it is right there. Oh, look at them titles back there. Go ahead, look at that boy right there. Shining. Dice always talking about Big Kiff in the chat. This the champ is here. Actually, I'm not. I'm like a gesture now. You know what I'm saying? Years ago, I was the belt king, but I've been surpassed. I'm still a king, but we got emperors in this business and everything like that. But listen, guys, seriously, tonight, Raw, what do you think about it? Are you excited for it? Again, this is one of them things where I talk about in the program, certain things I just don't get excited for, right? The playoffs are on tonight. I'm going to watch Raw. I watch Raw every single week. But where are they going with it? Cody, they'll be Cody and him pulling up tonight. So maybe Raw will be pretty good. I hope that it is. I know Friday night SmackDown will be good. I know I believe more in, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I believe more in Dynamite being better than I believe in Raw lately. And I'm being honest. And get that Knicks hat out the picture backstage. Stop it. See, this ain't your show. It'll be no Nick love on this program. I can't wait till my Knicks tape break. All right. And you know how much I love Stephen A. Smith, right? Rikichi calls me the Stephen A. Smith of professional wrestling. Okay. And damn it, his love for them was getting on my damn nerves. There it is. I knew it was up there, Off the Cuff Radio, every Friday night, 9 p.m., 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central. Subscribe to YouTube channel as well. Listen, all the hip-hop interviews. You like hip-hop, listen. This man's been doing it for a long, long, long time. Also, I forgot to plug them today as well. Shout out my man Fire and Ice, out to my man Phil Belly and the boys out there holding their thing down. You like that gritty talk, that talk that's too gritty that you may really can't come because, if you've never been to the ghetto, don't ever come to the ghetto because you may never make it out the ghetto because you wouldn't understand the ghetto. All right. My top 50 wrestlers is coming out this week as well. That's why make sure you check out Victorious One's podcast as well. Sponsored also by Unpop Review Entertainment. A lot of things, guys. A lot of things. We're not asking you to go out here and give us nothing. Okay, nothing. But YouTube, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, you name it, we are there. Immediately following every show, they will be on your podcast favorite network. So holla at your boys. Do me a favor, guys. Do not wake up tomorrow morning. Do not. It's offensive. So do not wake up tomorrow and say to yourself, I love me, and don't love God, because that's just a kick in the damn head. You heard what I said. We be out here, y'all. Fingers.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah. Perfect Plex Radio. We about to go live on him. Mike Knoxxx. That's with 3 X's because he's hardcore. Are y'all ready? We about to give y'all something special. You ready? Let's go! At the money, now you're wrong, what you getting in? Perfect Plex Radio, got them listening. Mike Knoxxx, from Cena to The Rock, or whatever wrestler is hot. News and interviews, it's a one-stop shop. Matter of fact, let me give you more choices. You could call in and be the voice with the voiceless. So what you waiting on? Let's get it cracking. Let's talk wrestling, that's enough rapping. Perfect Plex Radio, simply